What's up, guys? It's gonna be a bit of a longer video. I'm gonna go through every little intricacy of what can and can't go wrong on here, how to speed things up, how to take them nice, slow, and safe and get through it all. We're gonna go through how to sell items to people, what you need to pull, what you need to provide, that kind of thing. Just a lot of the stuff that other videos I've seen so far haven't really touched on because they just want to be short and to the point. There is a brute here. I think it's this guy that can pats right here. When he is right here, he can pull. So you're gonna want to scatter him if that does happen. Again, I do everything pretty much as marksman spec. There's a spec I run particularly for this, I'll show you. So normally this will pull here, and if it does, and there's a mage lord right here or right here, he can frostbolt you if you keep running. That's not going to kill you or anything, it's just going to slow you down for a second. Just one thing to keep in mind. If things do pull, you would just run to right here, and then, you know, eventually things will de-aggro, and that's all there is to it. This pull here has a bit of RNG to it. See, there's a pack right here. If I were to go right now and not have checked for this guy and the two dogs will aggro to me. There's not much I can do other than grenade them if you keep some grenades on you. But that's one thing to check out. You can obviously like use tracking and such to try to figure out, you know, what's where. But there's a few ways to do this. I've seen some people use traps. I've seen some people, you know, send a pet in here and then have them come back here and attack something. I just inevitably know that this guy's going to die, so I kind of don't really care. I'm going to go ahead and send him in here. And then for those of you that don't know, in order to make him back to where his stay position was, you put him on passive again, and he'll run back to that position. So right now we're getting pretty lucky. We don't have any pats we're really worrying about, except for this one right here. Now the big thing here is trying to get Feign Death on cooldown as quickly as you can, which I'm going to need to do anyway because this boss guy's here. Now I can Shadow Meld. I want to get my, again, Feign Death on cooldown. That's like the big thing on how quick you can make these things go is, you know, how RNG did you get with the placement of the mobs and the pathing of the mobs, and how quickly can you get Feign Death off cooldown to go again, and then, you know, what are you utilizing with your pet. So ideally you would have a pet that can go stealth because it'll allow you to go past, you know, pull number 1 to pull number 2, pull number 2, and on its way back pull number 1 while you run by. There's some instances of that which is going to come through this doorway, you'll see. So you need to get that key so that we can go in this door. You can run down here and not pull the guy on the left, jump on here, which this is a good spot to de-aggro mobs, by the way, if you ever pull them that are not casters. And then we're going to go ahead and open the door. And then for this spot, I'm going to go ahead and pull my pet out, have him stay here, make sure he's healed up. There's one pat that comes down to about here for some reason, so just kind of keep an eye on that. The eyeballs you saw, if you don't kill them, your run's over. They'll see invis the whole deal. And I'm going to turn sprint off. He's on stay. I'm going to have him go in and attack. I just killed them with an auto shot, arcane shot, and they're dead. It's just something to be aware of. There's going to be 2 of them we kill this run. Turn sprint on, have him get some damage in, put him on passive, he's going to go back. This warlock will sometimes randomly immolate your pet and you, so I just wanted to make sure I have him targeted for scatter. My pet's going to outrange me. I'm going to go ahead and Feign Death here. And get my pet back out, get Feign Death on cooldown. Make sure he's topped off. I can go and feed him because we're AFK waiting for the eyeball to come right now. Now this is an instance of like one of the 2 pulls you would skip on. So you could do this one and this one at the same time, or you can do the bug one. Oh, here he is. You could do this bug one where ideally right now I'd have stealth on him. I don't have it on him right now. And I would go and pull this, and then on his way back, he would come pull this, and I can just run through all the way. Again, unfortunately, I don't have it on right now, so I kind of, I'm gonna have to show you the slow way, but this is one way to do it. So I'm gonna have him here, I'm gonna have him attack that one. This guy is not immolating me, he's immolating my pet, and he's not gonna immolate me, okay. So I can pull these bugs. Right now I'm trying to get as close to them as I can without pulling, and trying to create this distance like you just saw there. My pet disappears because he outranged me on that other pack. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, it's whatever. The next pull here, again, this is the slow version. The next pull here is I'm going to go ahead and pull the bugs and then have him sent back on here so I can create some more distance. And there's a little pill over here I can hump, and that'll allow me to be safe. I've been doing this where I kind of multi-pull this. Again, we're going to go in an easy way. I'll explain the ways you can speed this up. I'm sure there's other guys that will show you run-throughs of the speed versions. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure this guy's got sprint on. He's going to attack. All the bugs are now following him. He's going to go back and attack the ogre. And I'm going to go and create distance. These can poison you, or they can spawn like 8 mobs. I would watch out for those. So here's the boss. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and set up here. I'm going to go and feign. So this is your safe spot, is this pillar, okay? Now I know if I go left, I get pulled by the bugs. If I go right, I get pulled by the reavers. And this is the guard that I'm careful of, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just shadow meld here. And then I will mark the ones for later on. You'll see why. Here's the eyeball that we want to kill. I'm gonna wait for the guard to pass by. This is one spot for a chest. Unfortunately, it's a locked one this time around, so I can't utilize that this pull. So before I come out of stealth, I want this guy to turn. And I'm gonna kill the eye. And now we're hanging out. Okay, so again, ideally, like, I would stealth in, pull these bugs with those ogres. I'm pointing to my screen as if you could see what I'm pointing at. And then this guy, you can have it set up between mix and matching your aspects and then setting up what you're going to really utilize, that you can run past these and the guard and pull these two pulls all within one sweep. Again, because of no stealth and because I'm trying to give you the little intricacies of what you can and can't do, we're not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and, again, do this the slow way, so I'm going to show you what's going to happen here. So when this guy gets away from me, I'm going to go ahead and do the reavers here. What's going to happen is I'm going to scatter the close one, and I'm going to go ahead and concussive shot the far one. You got to be kind of quick with it, because the RNG of, you know, hitboxes and swing timers and shit can daze you, and then you're pretty well done. So scatter, concussive shot, and at the bottom of these stairs, we're going to go ahead and feign death right here. We were not resisted, thank God. Potions. Put them on your bars. That'd be smart. I don't. So I'm gonna right click and get going. I have had it one time where like the same interaction occurred on multiple, I forget the word I'm looking for here. You got, it'll come to me. Spell batching. So I like hit the potion and started moving, and like a second later, all of a sudden the mob's aggro to me. When I was like already in stealth, everything's on cooldown. I don't know how, why, what's going on, but it happened. So, you do need potions while we're waiting on feign death here. I use lesser invisibility potions. They're selling for about a gold 50, 2 gold per one. And then large C4M charge, which requires you to have 200 engineering. Engineering is very, very, very easy to level until like 350, or sorry, 250 is where it starts to get a little more expensive. So I wouldn't do too much, or I would get engineering. And then the pull here is I'm going to keep sprint off, because I want him to sprint on his way back, is my thought process here. Sometimes these guys here pull, which if they do, then I'm going to turn sprint on. They didn't, so I'm going to turn sprint on now. He's going to attack. I'm going to put him on passive, so he pulls back. I'm going to hug this wall so I don't pull the mobs on the right. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my large C4M charge, click on the door. The door is going to be broken down, and I'm going to hug this right wall here so that I can try to get my pet to, you know, disappear like he did. Get feign death on cooldown immediately. Pull the pet out, put him on stay. I'm going to heal him up while we are waiting. My staff skill is almost 300, so we're going to keep meleeing rats in hopes that eventually it reaches its max level. And then this is the next pull. So I got 15 on feign death. I'll put a link to my talents in the description, but basically I'm going to get pathfinding for increased speed. And obviously, like, I can revive my pet and he's tankier with health and armor. This is pretty much like your ideal setup in BM. Survival, I'm going to go ahead and get improved wing clip because there's instances where you will have to wing clip things. More health. Deterrence is always sick. And then improved feign death, which puts you at a 1% chance to always be resisted with feign death. Sometimes you'll never see it for multiple runs. Sometimes you can be like me yesterday where you get 4 1% chances of being resisted in a row. Not fun. And then the rest of it just goes into marksman. Get scatter and do as much damage as you can. You know, get aim shot, Hawkeye, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go and send him in. Again, I like to put him on sprint when he gets closer, have him do some damage, go through passive. One thing I realized is that, like, if you walk through the mobs, there's the immolate. If you walk through the mobs, sometimes they'll just aggro to you. It's very, very annoying. So, hoping that he gets out of my range here. Looks like my pet's just going to die. So, I'm going to go ahead and feign before this warlock casts on me. My pet decided to kill himself. Guess I'm not a good owner. So, I'll res him up. Put him on stay, heal him up, feed him. Okay, so this is the dog pack that I will later explain, have to wait on. I've never in my life had the RNG of having them here already. So, welcome to RNG City. This is how it works. There's a lot of randomness to, you know, what mobs are within what packs, because the mobs in each pack change every time. The mobs in the patrols change each time. Where they're located from where you get, when you get there, changes each time. It's obnoxious. So everyone's like, oh, hunters have it so easy, you guys make so much money. Yes and no. but this is part of the waiting game. Now I gotta wait for these dogs to run away. All right, well, some of the dogs are gone. So this is one pull that I like to do in just one clean sweep again. Typically, if I had stealth, I'd do it, make it more clean. But I would have my pet go and pull this, and then as he's running out there and pulls aggro on the boss as well, I'd have him come back and attack this guy for maximum distance in hopes that he lives. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to again just show you guys the slow way. So make sure my pet gets aggro on the boss. I'm going to run by and have him get aggro there. There's the dogs that I marked, so that's the path. So in hopes that my dog or my cat doesn't die, I would go here. I know I'm going to pull these guys, but I was trying to create distance in hopes that, like, you know, my pet would despawn and I can just, you know, not have to res him. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. That's why I like to try to, you know, multi-pull these things because it's quicker. And once you get used to it and things kind of get cleaned up for you, it just saves you this also downtime now that I'm having to do of wasting an extra 30 seconds on feigned death, having to heal my pet, having to res my pet, having to feed my pet, all that kind of stuff, you know. So I'll put my pet on stay here just in case, because sometimes the pathing of him walking around is just not fun. As you can see also, the dogs that I'm trying to kill, I marked with skull so I can see them. So I'm not going to do this pull right now. I'm going to wait for those dogs to move. But what's going to happen here is I'm going to end up pulling these guys, and I'm going to send my pet deep in on here and hope that, again, we create distance and he doesn't die so I don't have to waste time. And then I'm going to basically go where those dogs are. I'm going to go ahead and heal up, reset. Again, pull my pet out, make sure he's topped, make sure he's well fed, drink, eat. I'm going to get fully prepared. And those 3 dogs that I have marked there, these are the ones that we need to kill. If these dogs don't die, you cannot kill the boss because they pad around like you see, and they pad up here where you're going to be utilizing this play area. So in order to catch them and not have a lot of downtime, I need to go now. So I'm going to go ahead and send my pet in, have him go to the farthest distant spot. And again, I'm going to try to not run through these mobs. Sometimes they will randomly decide to attack you. Pretty annoying. Looks like my pet died anyway because he just got hit for 1064 or whatever the hell it was somehow. Level up my staff skill. Hit him with the feigned death. Did not get resisted, and I'm immediately going to be reviving my pet so I can get going here. All these mobs up here, by the way, if you've never been here before, they're all 60 elites. They don't do anything other than put you in combat. So that's pretty cool. So when you're trying to get health later, mid-fight or something, you can't. You just have to bandage. So you'll see what I mean. You'll hear them go, ha-ha, and you're in combat forever. It's pretty annoying. So right now I'm fully reset. The only thing left I have to do before I kill the boss is to kill these marked boys, which are in the back right now, so I can't see them. So now I'm topped off. I'm going to send my pet to stay with me. I'm going to go ahead and let him auto sprint. So right now I'm line of sighting the guys above me so I'm not in combat in hopes that I can utilize a trap here. I don't think I'm going to be able to. See, I want to put it right here where they're going to run. I got a trap down. Perfect. Okay, so I'm in combat. You heard him go, ha-ha. Maybe you can't because my music. But now what I'm going to do is make sure I'm in Cheetah. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling these guys. Alright, so I've got the dogs cleaned up. I'm ready to pull the boss. I need to get mana, obviously. So I'm at the Feign Death again because he's put me in combat, always. I'm going to go ahead and open out my Feign Death with a drink. And as you can see, I'm already in combat. So I'm going to go ahead and let my mana get topped off here, and I will show you how we pull. So I'm going to use Eyes of the Beast here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sprint over and attack this guy. Now this guy, people say, oh no, it's the same guy every time. It's not. He's a different class every time. He's a priest staff, so this time around he's going to be a priest. So you'll learn like what timings, what abilities they have, and what timings it'll be on their cast and such. This guy's very annoying because he shields constantly. He can also fear me if he ever connects to me, and he's just obnoxiously annoying. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and put my pet on stay behind that pillar and have him come in here and get aggro. Like that. I'm going to put him back on passive now that he's got aggro. And this is the fight. So we're going to take this one nice and slow. I'm just trying to make sure I get some damage in here. Now he's gone. He has this freaking pre-shield on. Backpedal, 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 backpedal. And our goal is to mana drain this guy. So we're mana draining him, letting this guy run up. And when they get close, we're going to feign death. We didn't get resisted, thank God. And this is where, just like before, you could come out drinking before you get in combat with these stupid little spirits. My mana's fine. I'm not going to drink yet. I'm chilling. I'm going to go ahead and switch into Hawk for more damage. Get a mark up on him. There's some weird interactions of this. So like if I even start attacking one, sometimes the other guy recognizes it. See, he just recognized it. The guy to my right, he just dipped out. I didn't do anything to him. All I did was just open up abilities on this guy, and the guy just immediately started running at me. And the same thing goes the other direction. If the caster is ever in front of him, and I put up like a serpent, or what's this called, viper sting on him, he'll never touch me. He'll just keep running at my cat. But the main guy will. The main guy will just run over and start chasing me down. I miss my damage window to, you know, go in on some damage on him. So it's kind of weird. You want to try to get them to line up with one another to an extent, so you can, you know, get them to constantly run back and forth. The big guy does run faster. That's one thing to keep in mind. And the goal is to try to damage him before he touches your pet, so your pet stays alive. Now, there's some ways to interact with this to, if you ever need to heal your pet, and that would be like sending your pet into attack. And then when he gets, you know, closer to you, you can see if I can bait out a cast here. There's a cast. Okay. So like when he's running, you can start a heal on him and put him on passive and he'll run back. That's also a way that you can speed your runs up by kind of baiting out the running of these guys to get more damage opportunities in. So these guys are a little offset right now. So I want this guy to cast on me. So I'm going to stay in his line of sight. He's going to cast. Good. And I'm going to try to bait another one. And we're going to try to bait another one. So I don't want to sit here and just let this guy, like, you know, have range on me. Because he'll charge. And if he charges, he'll knock me back. And depending on which pillar you're playing on, it could knock you into the dogs. And that's just never a fun time. If anyone ever does get offset, like I get a resist on one of them but not the other, you can just jump down here and run back and forth. Hopefully I don't have to show you guys how I do that. But we'll see, I guess. See, look, watch. So I didn't even get a shot off yet. I started casting a shot at this guy, and the caster started running at me. So I'll give you an example. Like I can jump down here and then try to like line them up on running together, you know? When you do this, sometimes they get really confused on what's going on, and you'll see like they'll run to the wall, and they go forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, run into here, forward, back. So I need to create more space on this guy so that this guy catches back up with him. So it's kind of all we're doing right now. So now they're about on top of each other. I'm going to go and just feign. So this is going to be really risky because my pet dies, the fight's over, right? And he's in a phenomenal spot for him to die. So we're going to try some stuff here. I'm going to turn sprint off for this. I got a decent mana here. I'm going to try to get him to not charge my pet here. Okay, good. So I'm going to send my pet into attack right now. I'm going to spam healing, spam healing, spam healing. And I'm going to send him back, okay? So I get a full heal off my pet. He's somewhat recovered right now. I'm going to let this guy attack me for a sec. He can fear, though, so I kind of don't really want to let that happen. Again, some of them are different. The shaman guy will lay down totems, and if you ever get in range of it, therefore you interact with it, you then pull aggro on them, which you don't want to happen. The like mage warlock guy just fireballs you for like a ton of damage, so that's kind of obnoxious. But you get a feel for which ones do what and how to interact with them. I just don't ever want this guy to get close to me. Alright, so we ended up getting him down. So what I've been told, if you go through and talk to this guy first and get all the loot and the buff and everything, you gotta send this guy off first and you get one extra piece of loot. So I will come here and do this first. And then, so once I send him off, then I will go back, I will get my buff, I will see what's in there, and if I need to clear stuff then, I'm going to show you guys how to clear stuff, just in case, like, hypothetically, you know, you got something that you wanted to sell. We're just going to go ahead and do that. So what would happen is I would go back and get the buff is the first interaction. The second interaction is the king buff, and then the second one is to get the chest, right, and figure out what you're selling or not selling or vendoring or whatever. And then the way to get the king buff off, so you can clear the mobs that somebody coming in who doesn't have the king buff would pull, you need to log off, log on, and the king buff will be cleared, and then you're in the same concept I am now, where everything's red, but only certain mobs attack you. So the way that you handle this, let's get our pet out. Okay, so there's certain mobs that will and won't attack you. The first set are the reavers in this pack here. The reavers in this pack, so to make sure I get to the point where I will be able to auto attack these guys. So we're just gonna kite these guys out just like we did the bosses. Once those reavers are done, ideally to save yourself a hassle, you will get the buff. Without the buff, the only thing that is gonna pull to us in this next portion will be the patrolling boss and the two reavers there that we invis potted past. So I pet in on a deeper boy because I pretty much one-shot these guys, let them clump up. So I'm gonna put my dodge on, hit my deterrence, try to kite them back through here. I know you guys are going to meme it on me right now. Oh, where's the volley? Shut up, guys. This is not a volley moment. We want to do this with pure hand-to-hand combat and skill. So I'm going to log off, and you'll see how I lose this King of the Gordok buff. Just so I can confirm that I can't kill the eyes myself, you know? Alright, so we have logged back in now. Alright, so this guy's going to pat back, and we just got to find the eyeball just to confirm that the eye is a friendly. Okay, it's not friendly. It has a little marker above his head. So make sure he goes down. Eyeball is in the clear. Okay, so everything is set up now pretty much for somebody who would come in. Ideally what would happen now is we'll sit to here, we'll wait for this. I'll have these marked. I'll have the Reaver mark, and a guard slip kick mark. And when he gets to here, I'd say 3, 2, 1, use the potion. And they would run through and up, and I'd have to obviously give them one of the lesser invis potions. And if you've taken the buff off like I did here, then I would also have to use another one myself. So what I typically would do instead is like bait my pet in, you know, where like he pulls the Reavers and the boss and then comes back and like attacks us or something. And that would create the distance, allow my pet to despawn, and then I can just get up Feign Death and not use a pot. I can get the buff. It depends on like how much time you have. Like if I'm sitting here waiting for a buyer, I got time to kill. So I may as well, you know, go and do that. See if this eye is friendly. This eye is also not friendly, so it's a good thing I did this. These guys here will attack your pet, but not you. It's really weird. And they'll do like one auto on your pet, and then just reset, and you're chilling. The only other thing you've got left to do, and again, I will mark these and tell the guys preemptively, kind of like, hey, just so you know, stay away from the marked targets, just stay with me and I'll tell you what's up. You got to check here for the boss. This guy will pull, the guy that you sent downstairs because you called him fat, and then this guy here will pull, right? So these are the ones that I will have preemptively marked for people, and then obviously the bugs. And again, these little warpwood pods can spawn. Let's see if I can do it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It opened and nothing happened. Thank you for giving me a good example for my video. Sometimes the little ones spawn, so you'll just need to watch those. Other than that, the boss down here, which obviously you won't interact with unless you're going to get your tribute buff, will pull. And then this group here on the corner will pull. And that's kind of it. If you guys ever need to stop in vendor, you come down here. I'll give you a little example. You'll open this up, and you're going to run down the mile-long highway and get your cardio in. And once you get down here, you can just sell all your stuff. Sell your stuff, head out. Reset it yourself. Have your ult in here to reset it. So have somebody reset you. I hope this video helped you guys to figure out what you need to do to solo Dire Maul North tribute runs. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask away. I will again put a link to the Dire Maul spec. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.